Hi everyone, Kyle here, and we have an interesting title today. That one being Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon, which is a bit of a misnomer, as our hero isn't doing a lot of wandering on his own, as he's a giant metal box, and has to be carried around. As for the dungeon, well, it isn't one in the traditional sense, and more of an instance, as it looks like a forest and has a sky. Regardless of those inaccuracies, this is a surprising title for me. I was suspecting it to be much more of a parody of the isekai genre, but it isn't that at all. Yes, it can be absurd, and it is weird, though it ended up much different than what I thought it was going to be going into it when I started it. Did it work though? I'll go over that and show if this anime was fully stocked or if it ate your change. So pull out a crisp bill as we step into this new world.
Anyway, today's another day to find you shying away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take off.
Just about to complete its second season, the first released back in 2023 from Studio Gokumi, and based on the light novel written by Hirukuma. It tells the story of a self-described vending machine otaku who one day attempts to save a vending machine that has come loose from its truck straps. Absolutely stupid, I know. He ends up going over the cliff with the vending machine in one of my favorite isekai death sequences I've come across so far, only to awaken overlooking a lake alone and discovers he has been reborn as a vending machine. Turns out he has a point system, and it starts with 1,000 points. This controls the items in his inventory, healing him from damage, and costs a point an hour to operate him. Luckily, he can replenish those points by making sales. Being in the middle of nowhere doesn't help though, as no one is there to purchase his wares. So he sits for a while. Then all of a sudden, he comes across a frog fiend who doesn't take too kindly to this box in the middle of nowhere and starts to attack him. A few others join in. Luckily, he finds the blessing option and gains a shield to assist him from harm, as it allows only the people he wants within the barrier. Though sadly, due to this, he is left with only 300 points remaining. Soon he is then found by Villainess, a female hunter who also happens to become his first customer. She fastly realizes that he is sentient, and the two form a yes or no communication system. It is also Villainess that gives him a name, Boxxo, a mystery of a name we're sure we'll never figure out. She leaves with Boxxo and heads back to the village, and since she has the blessing of might, she can pack Boxxo with ease. Once they reach the village, Boxxo quickly becomes a favorite to the community, and he continues to upgrade his selection. Weirdly, this stationary vending machine plays a bigger part in this village than a lot of other isekais I've watched. We also learned that this area is a dungeon, and you can be sent out of it. The two are recruited by the Hunter Guild leader, Director Bear, to assist in helping with the overflow of frog fiends. This is one of those sentences you really only get in anime. With Boxxo's unlimited inventory and ability to get hot food on demand, he makes a good choice to take, as it would free up a lot of supply room. Boxxo and Villainess both agree to go and are thrown into adventure. Soon they are fighting a monster fire frog fiend, and using some quick thinking on Boxxo's part, is able to use soda and mentos to help slow the beast, so that it can be taken out. During their adventure, Villainess worries about Boxxo, but he trusts her to continue on, and is rather sweet compared to other vending machine and girl relationships the media is always showing. With the mission a success, they make the return home only to find it attacked by a monster, though the guards are able to stop it. The town has taken massive damage. Finally, we get to see Boxxo be super helpful, as he also sells underwear and clothes in the women's bathhouse, because it's not anime without some perviness. I joke, but that was the first 3 episodes of Reborn as a Vending Machine, and I truly think this is one of the best examples of a standard isekai I've seen so far. Now, I don't mean that it is middle of the road or anything like that. I actually really enjoyed it. What I mean is that it, aside from the crazy vending machine premise, this is exactly what I think an isekai should be. Characters end up in a new world, deals with the culture shock between the world and the isekai character. Said character gets involved with the people and form relationships with them. Now, with the main character as a vending machine, I suspected it was going to end up more of a parody, as I stated earlier, but they play it rather earnestly. Boxxo is a good person as a character, and is rather very accepting of where he has ended out. He is a vending machine otaku, and while a crazy thing to say, seems rather happy he can help. He's also able to communicate better than some isekai characters who have access to full speech, with a few programmed phrases he can say aloud to others. There's a moment where Lammis and him see the town in trouble that he is able to calm her down with one of his programmed phrases that I felt was very well done. Now, I wouldn't say he was a reluctant hero, but he much rather help his community and be with Lammis, but that also means he will step up, or I guess stand stationary. If there is trouble, he doesn't hesitate to go with the hunters to help, and later assures Lammis it is okay to push to the front lines when she is worried about him. Boxxo is also rather capable. Aside from the shield he can form, when a pickpocket was trying to rob him, he showed his offensive abilities by dropping a hot corn soup on his hand when he reached in for another item. In these episodes, he is often weighing out the options he has and how best he can help. That attitude is what led him to assisting them with taking out the fire frog fiends with the soda and mentos. That being the easy part. The hard part trying to communicate the mechanics to a person that has never seen the reaction in work with only a few phrases. On that note, Lammis is also an interesting character, since she is the first to realize Boxxo is sentient, and with the blessing of might means that she is one of the very few people that can move him with ease. They form a very tight relationship. It is Boxxo's additional weight that literally makes her a better fighter, as she has issues with hitting her target without him. Like Boxxo, Lammis also wants to do what she can for the people of the village. When we first meet her, she has become lost from the hunter party she was with, but was continuing the hunt for the frog fiends. We see a loyalty in her that is much like Boxxo, that I feel like if anyone else had come across him in the wild, Boxxo would have been left stranded by the lake. We do get introduced to a number of other secondary casts as well, but with so much going on in the first 3 episodes, don't spend a lot of time with them. But they do give us enough to fill out the world, and I can see why they would fight for them, beyond just protecting their means to get out of there. As for the animation, this is solid. Everything is animated consistently, the action is easy to follow, the character designs are rather generic for anime, but it doesn't take away from watching it. Plus, with the main character being a vending machine, it does find a unique enough way to stand out. Does Reborn as a vending machine need to be an isekai though? Out of all the ones I've covered so far, this is the biggest yes I've seen. We are introduced to a world without vending machines, something from our world, and the main character is inhabiting it. To do this another way would be very weird. I feel that the creators have embraced all that is isekai in making this. As I said, it doesn't make fun of the tropes, it is all played seriously. We just have a main character that is an inanimate object. He still is using his understanding of our world to try and help, and the skills he has access to. After the 3 episodes, I'm close to having this be my go-to recommendation if I'm asked by someone trying to get into isekai in general. There are ones that I like more, but this has the most appeal, and I tend to skew towards the more eclectic options, like My Next Life as a Villainess. In the end, they take a very traditional story route that we see in a lot of fantasy isekai, and aren't reinventing the wheel there. Though with the usage of an interesting main character, they make something that I would come back to for sure. Well, it looks like I'm out of change for now, and time to call it on this isekai. Thanks for watching till the end, and if you were enjoying, please give this a like and subscribe. I've got a list of isekais on my to-do list right now, and we'll be getting them out soon. I've also started to do non-isekai anime videos as well, and got a lot of other things planned also. Until then, make sure to look both ways before crossing the street.